Good morning. I'm Jim Ibester, Vice President, Facility Administration for the Minnesota Wild and General Manager of the St. Paul River Center. We're really happy to host this event today to promote Drive Electric Minnesota. Helping spur demand and interest in sustainability options is incredibly important to us. In 2009, we embarked on a mission to become a regional leader in sustainability, and this is another great step in that direction. City of St. Paul has been a huge supporter of ours, and thus it's my great pleasure to introduce the Mayor of St. Paul, Chris Coleman.
Good morning, everyone. It is a great morning in St. Paul and the Twin Cities, and actually across the state of Minnesota. This is a really exciting event for us, and it's really nice to have it here at the Xcel and the River Center complex. Because if there was ever a facility that said green, it is this building here. I don't know if you noticed the crane that was going up over the building. Actually, the more important symbol was that there's actually a porta-toilet on the roof of this building. That's not for overflow. That's actually because we are installing one of the largest solar installations in the entire Midwest on this building. That has been an incredible project. We're very excited about that. And so it's appropriate that we are here to announce this launch of the new electric vehicle that will be part of a region-wide, city-wide, metropolitan-wide strategy to have more electric vehicles, have more charging stations across this area so that people can really transition into a greener, cleaner technology, one that will save us a lot of money on gas, one that I think is really the future of this community. I just want to acknowledge the presence of a few folks. I see our council member Russ Stark, who's been an absolute champion on issues like this. Matt Kramer, the head of the Chamber of Commerce. Matt, thanks for being here. Cecile Bedore, our Planning and Economic Development Director. John Marshall from Xcel Energy Center. John, good to see you. And I'm sure that I'm missing a whole bunch of other people. And I believe our governor is actually going to join us in a few minutes, but he is actually reliant on old technology, so he actually had to stop and get some gas. So, but he will be. What he will be here. This effort is an incredible partnership between so many different folks. What we are announcing today is that in the city of St. Paul, specifically, we will have 3 fully electric vehicles that are very different than the kind of electric vehicles that we have had in the past. These are vehicles that can drive at highway speeds. They can go 80 miles an hour or 80 miles on a single charge. They will cost us, pennies on the dollar to charge them, which is really, really significant, and a very, very, very significant drop in the amount of carbon emissions that will be produced by these vehicles. It's a step. But it's an important first step that allows us to put charging stations in all 24 across the city of St. Paul, some of which will be actually powered by solar power, so that there will be absolutely zero carbon emissions as a result of the use of these vehicles. But it wouldn't be possible without the partnerships that we've had with our congressional delegation, including Congresswoman McCollum, Senator Klobuchar, and others. It is incredibly important that we have a partner in the governor's office. Governor Dayton has been and will be a great partner on this effort. We have, obviously, my partner across the river, Mayor Rybeck, has been the huge champion and I think one of the leaders of mayors across this country to use personally the latest technology and hybrid vehicles to get around. I'm just too darn tall to fit into one of those Priuses, otherwise I would have one. But this has really been great. Xcel Energy has been an incredible partner, Azure Dynamics, and Ford Motor Company. All of these folks have come together with a whole host of others, too numerous to mention, to really make this possible. As we change over the fleet, it's really kind of it's kind of interesting because you think back and everybody says, well, this is just a couple of vehicles and will it really make a difference? It will make a difference because this is the future. This is our way forward. If you think about over 100 years ago as people were first driving these gas-powered vehicles around and everybody said, well, that's just a fad, it won't last. And that led to a century's worth of reliance on carbon-fueled vehicles. This is, I think, in a very similar way, the next first step. To have all electric vehicles that are capable of highway speed, that are able to do the work of the city, that will save significant resources. In the city of St. Paul, we spend over $3 million a year on gasoline. Now think about that if gasoline goes up, as is predicted by some, to $5 a gallon by 2012. the cost savings as we can convert to an all-electric fleet are absolutely significant and incredible, and will help us just on the bottom line in the city of St. Paul. So today we celebrate the arrival of the electric vehicle in the city. As I say, it's Ann Hunt's birthday party, Christmas party, New Year's Eve party, all rolled into one. Ann, I want to I don't know where she's hiding, but Ann, just for your leadership on this, our environmental and sustainability coordinator, Ann, thank you, and for all your work. Congratulations. I was trying to stall to see if the governor would make it, but I'll call an audible, and we'll go to our incredible partner, our 4th Congressional District Representative, Representative Betty McCollum.
Thank you, Mayor Coleman. And it's not often enough in St. Paul I get to stand between two of the greatest mayors in the United States. Ann, you did a lot of work on this with a lot of partners that are here, and you were pointing them out. Ann was talking about, the great partnership she's had with Xcel and many, many other businesses and community people around this, in this room today and around St. Paul. So we need to work together in public-private partnerships and private-public partnerships in order to make things like today happen on a regular basis. Cars and trucks are responsible for 1/3 of the air pollution emissions in Minnesota. This municipal fleet represents a unique opportunity to providing ground and a model for clean energy technology like the all-electric Ford Transit Connect. Now, you were talking about how back in the days of when gasoline vehicles first came forward, everybody said, oh, this is just a fad, it's not going to last, don't give up your horse. My grandfather was one of the first mechanics in the Midwest trained by Ford. And I can hear him right now saying, honey, I got to go back to Detroit and I got to go back to school. This is really remarkable. And so for many, many reasons, I'm so proud of the connection the city of St. Paul's had with Ford and my own personal connection with Ford. It gives me great pleasure to be here. But we need to continue to work together, both the public sector and, more importantly, the private sector, to make investments in clean energy. This is the right thing to do for our national security, to reduce energy independence, and it's also the right thing to do for our own personal security, for our health. Cleaner air and cost savings are going to add up for a win-win for taxpayers, as Mayor Coleman pointed out. The city of St. Paul clearly understands the lessons that's being learned by private industry in today's global economy, that energy efficiency just isn't a competitive advantage, it is going to be a competitive necessity. I believe the federal government can and should be a partner. It should be a partner with municipalities, it should be a partner with community organizations, and it should be a partner with the private sector in working towards clean energy initiatives like this one here today. Now, I'm particularly proud to be here today because we heard a lot about the American Recovery Reinvestment Act. It jump-started America's clean energy economy. We're witnessing that here today. The Recovery Act is helping cities like St. Paul all across to leverage funding, to make investments, to take the opportunity to find initiatives like Drive Electric Minnesota possible. Additionally, companies across America have matched dollar for dollar. The $2.4 billion in the Recovery Act is seed money for advanced battery and electrical vehicle development. Our clean energy future requires all of us working together as strategic partners. So once again, I thank all of you here from this community, both public and private, for being here today and celebrating what I think truly our children will see as us taking a huge leap forward for their air to be cleaner and for America to be more energy independent.
Thank you, Congresswoman. She mentioned her grandfather, the mechanic, a person that represented many of the auto workers in this community for a long, long time, is standing directly behind that light, so it was hard to see him, but Rob McKenzie is here. Rob, thank you for being here with us. We have, as I say, one of the great things about being mayor in the city of St. Paul is that we've been able to change the dynamic in this region to from competition to cooperation. And working together, we can do so much more. And it has been a great partner across the river in Mayor Rybeck, who has really been a leader across the country and well known for his pursuit of environmental green strategies to create jobs and to move the country forward on new technologies. Mayor Rybeck, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Coleman. Because of this great partnership we're announcing today, one of our employees who normally takes a truck and drives between different facilities, moving different pieces of equipment, will be part of a new future. And that new future is this. When our employee gets in that car, they'll drive to the new spot and they'll be powered by electricity. They'll also be part of an initiative that will mean that a resident of Minneapolis can go into the Hoff ramp and charge their car with solar energy that goes directly from the sun directly into the car. Those are two small steps in an enormous direction that we're taking toward a new clean energy future. That's powered in large part by, as the Congresswoman mentioned, the federal stimulus and by a partnership with people like Xcel. Xcel's been a phenomenal partner with us. 9 years ago when I took office, we began working with Xcel on converting both the Riverside and the High Bridge plant to cleaner natural gas. So electricity that gets into the car is not part of putting all sorts of emissions into the air. We have also been partners on the massive solar installation on the Minneapolis Convention Center. So Xcel's been a remarkable partner for us. So have our residents who have pushed us to move even further. Right now you can go to the 46th Street Light Rail Station and get a charging where there's already a charging station that's led by solar. These are small steps, but they're big steps as we move forward. Today, after I leave this, I'll hop in my plug-in hybrid done by Rego, a company in Minneapolis on 38th Street, and we'll go back to the city garage, plug in my car. Tonight in my garage, I will plug in that car again, and this will be very, very realistic, tangible technology we'll all be using. 10 years from now, we'll almost chuckle at the fact that we stood here and celebrated a couple new cars moving forward, but it is critically important to have government lead the way on this because we need to move forward faster, and at a period of time where the economy has slowed, we can both clean the environment and create new jobs. The jobs at Rego, the jobs at Border Ford, where these cars are purchased in Minneapolis, are part of our new clean energy future. So I want to thank all the partners here, and I want to say as well that had it not been for that federal stimulus, the work that we're talking about today, as well as the work that we're doing with residential and commercial conversion on cleaner energy, would not have happened. So I thank the Congresswoman and all the members of Congress and the President for the stimulus. I thank our partners at Xcel, and I thank our partners in St. Paul for being such a good team to work with on a new clean energy future. Thank you.
From Ford's perspective, this is the era of electrification. It's an incredibly exciting time. If you had been at the Detroit Auto Show last week, you would have seen not only Ford's display, but others who are showcasing electric cars and electric trucks. We at Ford are really looking at it as an overall platform design, and soon we'll be actually launching our new Ford Focus pure electric vehicle along with a plug-in, our C-Max series, and then along with another hybrid. But this is the first. The Transit Connect Electric is absolutely the first vehicle to be out on the road. Like I said, Minnesota is the first to get it, which is very exciting. So let's show communities all across the country that these vehicles do in fact work, that they can actually make a huge difference in people's lives and a huge difference in people's communities. So I want to thank everyone, and from Ford Motor Company, we're just really proud to be part of this partnership. Thanks so much.
Our last speaker before we cut the ribbon, there's a lot that could be said about him. The challenges that he faces as our leader and new governor of the state of Minnesota, whether that is creating jobs, which I think that these green strategies are going to be an incredibly important part of, or tackling a $6.2 billion deficit. But my favorite thing to say about our next speaker is St. Paul resident, Governor Mark Dayton.
Thank you very much, Mayor Coleman. And I understand before I arrived, my name was taken in vain by the mayor of Minneapolis. And I said, see, now I moved from Minneapolis to St. Paul. He doesn't have to treat me like a constituent any longer. But seriously, both Mayor Ryback and Mayor Coleman have been extraordinary leaders in promoting the use of transportation that uses alternative and renewable energies. And Mayor Ryback, every time I walk downtown Minneapolis and go by the bicycles, I feel guilty that I'm not using them as I should be. The electric buses that both of you have pioneered, and now Mayor Coleman, this incredibly exciting project for St. Paul, and it's a great tribute to you that you, with your leadership, St. Paul has been selected by Ford Motor Company. I want to recognize and thank Ford for being participants in this, and only thing that would make it even better is if you would allow the mayor and myself to come and persuade your corporate leadership to manufacture these at the Ford plant here in St. Paul, and maybe we could have a chance to do that sometime in the months ahead. But this is significant in its own right, and to Xcel and Azure Dynamics, and especially again to the City of St. Paul and Mayor Coleman for your outstanding leadership. And I don't want to stand between everyone and the exciting ribbon cutting any longer, and I'm looking forward to seeing Mayor Coleman drive it around here. So let's get on with it. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, one more. Very importantly, recognize also this fund is also funded with funding from the American Recovery Act, the so-called stimulus fund. So I want to pay special tribute to President Obama and to Congresswoman Betty McCollum, whose financial contribution, I believe, is the largest of any of the funding sources for this important project. So thank you very much.
So let's get to the ribbon cutting, and for the media, we'll just be available afterwards instead of doing answering questions out here. So let's cut the ribbon.